Yeah, I'm going
Oh,
to
they
jail.
said you're going to jail, man. You why? Why would he do
What am I going to
that?
jail for?
No, don't try to put my
Yeah, I'm
baby
going
in
to jail
jail.
for an argument.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right.
That's done, honey. King called down to the police precinct, child. They said that is most ridiculous and they cannot file any charges. So, you know, people say anything. Anything don't, and y'all run with it. Don't run with it, baby. Gotta check into
from
it.
the show.
So here's the thing in reference to the show. What happened was that after what we saw on the sandbar, my ex, his ego was stepped on, and so he wanted to get one up on us, and so he decided that he wanted to go to the network and complain and go to the police department and try to quote unquote file some charges. And so for the moment until we were done investigating, they had said that King can film, but he could not film with the rest of the group at that time. But he could, of course, we have our own personal story, so he could continue to film with me.
Let's dive into the drama surrounding Webb, a star from Married to Medicine, known for her sharp wit, bold fashion, and, of course, her knack for mixing a bit of class with some drama. But this time, the drama isn't coming from her TV role. No, this time, it's all about her on-again, off-again boyfriend, and let me tell you, things have taken a serious turn. We're talking courtroom drama, a luxury car scandal, and receipts flying faster than you can say reunion special. So, what's going on? A Rolls Royce is involved, fingers are being pointed, and things have gotten pretty heated. And guess what? The judge has already made a decision, and let's just say the case has been closed, but not before it became a complete mess. Before we get into the judge's decision, let's rewind a bit and unpack how King, Quad's boyfriend, got tangled up in this whole luxury car debacle.
What happened last night? I'm gonna let that shit slide, alright?
Okay.
You don't need to speak to her no more.
I don't want to speak to her no more.
Alright, so don't let it happen, alright? Then we ain't gonna have no problems.
Listen,
Alright?
tell her to stop saying the shit that she says.
No, she can say whatever she wanna say.
Not to me, though.
Hold on.
Not to me.
No, she said whatever she wanna say.
How do you want me not to talk to her and then she can say shit to me?
I'm telling
Does
you.
that make sense to you?
If she says something to you, you address me. You don't speak to her.
Check ain't gonna let nothing pop out. No, but I just need you to stay with me. Shaq ain't finna let shit pop out.
You tell her. Don't be coming at me with the crazy shit.
I'm telling you.
And I would, if she coming at me with the crazy shit,
Hold on. I'm telling you something right now. I know about the past, right? I ain't gonna
you know
fight
her
the past.
side of the past.
Tell me something different then. Tell me something
You
different.
gonna find out.
Tell me something
You gonna
different.
find out.
You don't want to find out.
What don't I want to find out? Listen, I'm a doctor, bro. I ain't got time to be fighting with people who coming up and you talking, sitting there like veiled threats. I don't have time to fight you or anybody
I ain't
else.
making no threats.
I just hope she take her
I ain't
shit.
making no threats.
I hope you sweep her off her feet.
I ain't
and
making no
sweep her
threats.
as far as you can sweep her, bro.
Bruh,
Look, I got no words for her.
I said one thing.
But tell her to stop saying shit
As long as
about
you
me.
ain't got no words, we good.
Man,
All right?
What,
All
man?
right?
Who you think you're talking to, bro?
Man, I'm talking to you, mother. What you gonna do? No, we don't need you in here. No.
I speak to you like that because I know how your girl is. So I speak to you like that. I speak to you like that. That's what you want to do.
No. What you talking about?
That's how they roll. Oh, hell no.
According to the official complaint, King ended up behind the wheel of a 2021 Rolls Royce Cullinan. Now, if you're not familiar, a Rolls Royce is the epitome of luxury, worth over $300,000. The car came into King's possession through a man named Clinton Curry. However, there's a big catch: Curry didn't own the car. In fact, he had only leased it from a dealership, meaning the car still technically belonged to the leasing company. But here's where things went off the rails. Curry handed the car over to King like it was his to give. The problem is, legally, Curry didn't have the right to do that. The leasing company owned the car, and Curry didn't have permission to sell or transfer it. So, when the actual owner discovered the car was missing, they considered it stolen, not just misplaced, but outright misappropriated. To make matters worse, King was cruising around in the car, posting pictures of it on social media, acting like it was his. And here's the kicker: King himself admitted in writing that he had no permission to keep or drive the car. This wasn't some innocent mistake, he knew exactly what he was doing. That little admission turned the whole case from a he said, she said situation into a confirmed wrongdoing. And once King's name was on those official court papers admitting to what he had done, things got real serious, real fast. By the time March 25th rolled around, King had to face the music in court. And this wasn't just about returning a car, it was about money. The judge had to review paperwork from Beth Rogers, the attorney representing the leasing company, and let me tell you, Beth wasn't playing around. She submitted an affidavit detailing just how much time and effort went into this case. In fact, she logged 293.2 hours of legal work, and her hourly rate was a cool $550. That's a lot of time spent on paperwork, hearings, and likely chasing King down to make sure he faced consequences for his actions. Now, let's talk numbers. The legal fees alone came to a staggering $160,000. Yes, you read that right, $160,000 in legal costs. That's just for the legal team's work to try and get the car back. When you break it down, those 293.2 hours at $550 per hour add up quickly. Rogers provided a breakdown showing the time spent investigating the vehicle's disappearance, tracking down who had it, reviewing documents, filing motions, attending hearings, and more. But wait, that's not all.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and in most cases it does.
But in this case,
It's gonna be some shit.
The total financial hit didn't just include the legal fees. There was also the value of the Rolls Royce itself, which, as we said, is worth over $300,000. Add in the court fees, which only kept building up as the case dragged on, and the potential for interest on the amount owed, and this whole mess was starting to look like it could run into millions of dollars. And then, there's the possibility of liens being placed against any of King's assets or property. This is a legal move where the court can put a claim on someone's property to ensure they pay what they owe. So, yeah, this could cost King and anyone involved a lot more than they initially thought. Here's where it gets interesting. This case isn't just about the money. It's about public record. Once something is in the courts, anyone can look it up. And that means employers, brands, and even fans of Married to Medicine can search the case and see exactly what's been going on behind the scenes. Quad might not have been mentioned in the court documents directly, but her name is now part of the conversation. After all, she's dating King, and this whole mess is unfolding in the public eye. So, whether she knew about it or not, this situation is now something everyone is talking about. So, why didn't this go to a jury? The answer is simple: there was no need. The facts were crystal clear. There was no he said, she said drama. Everything was in writing, receipts, signed documents, and King's own admission that he didn't have permission to keep the car. When the evidence is that clear, the judge doesn't need a jury to weigh in, they can just make a ruling. And that's exactly what happened. The judge didn't mince words. King's behavior was labeled as intentional misconduct. That's legal speak for he knew exactly what he was doing, and it wasn't a mistake. The court believed King deliberately did something wrong, and that's why he was held accountable. But King wasn't the only one in trouble. The court documents also named Clinton Curry, both senior and junior, and Janique Harris. Janique was apparently the last person seen with the car, and she disappeared from the scene once the car went missing. The court even linked King's own business to the case, arguing that all these parties played a role, whether directly or indirectly, in transferring or keeping the car when they had no legal right to do so. This is what turns this case into more than just a one-person issue. It becomes a full-blown civil conspiracy case. Everyone involved is now under suspicion. Speaking of Janique, where is she? Her name is still in the court documents, but she hasn't made any public statements. The last time anyone heard from her, she allegedly told the leasing company's attorney that she had gotten drunk and accidentally left the keys inside the Rolls Royce. She said she just walked away from the car. Sounds pretty unbelievable, right? I mean, who leaves the keys in a $300,000 car and just strolls off? The court wasn't buying it either, especially since the car never turned up. To this day, no one knows where Janique is or if she'll be brought in for more questioning. Her role in this mess is significant enough to be listed in the lawsuit, so whatever happened to that car, Janique's involvement is definitely part of the equation. And here's the kicker, the final judgment amount hasn't even been decided yet. That $160,000 is just for legal fees. The judge still needs to figure out how much the missing Rolls Royce is worth, additional damages, interest, and recovery costs. Depending on how the court views the entire situation, the financial penalties could go even higher. So, the case isn't over yet, and the total cost could still climb. Once the final numbers are in, it's going to hurt, especially for those involved. And you can bet I'll be back to break it all down once that happens. In the meantime, what do we know for sure? This isn't some made-up storyline from Married to Medicine. This is a real court case in Fulton County Superior Court, with all the legal paperwork available to the public. If you're curious, you can look it up yourself and see every messy detail. And here's the big question: did Quad know what her man King was up to, or is this just him running his own shady business on the side? Is she finding out about all this like the rest of us, or did she have some idea of what was going down? We may never know for sure, but one thing's certain: this is one scandal that's not going away anytime soon. So, what do you think? Was Quad in the dark, or is she now caught up in a mess she didn't ask for? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And for anyone thinking about leasing a luxury car, just make sure it's not already claimed by someone else who has no business with it. You never know where that car might end up next. Is she finding out about all this like the rest of us, or did she have some idea of what was going down? We may never know for sure, but one thing's certain: this is one scandal that's not going away anytime soon. So, what do you think? Was Quad in the dark, or is she now caught up in a mess she didn't ask for? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And for anyone thinking about leasing a luxury car, just make sure it's not already claimed by someone else who has no business with it. You never know where that car might end up next.